Hello team, today I want to talk to you about how you can support your flexibility and your mobility outside of your yoga practice and into the gym. I have been working on my front split, guys, for freaking years. I think it's been honestly 6 years, and I'm still this far away from the floor. Now, have I been continuously training for it? No. I went really close, then stopped training for a long time, then went back to it. Long story short, then I got into gym training, and that further kind of reduced my range almost, because I was starting to gain muscle size, and now I'm going back into training for my front split. But anyways, long story short, all this to say that this video is going to be focused on the hamstrings, and I'm going to take you into the gym and show you some of the exercises that I started incorporating so that I can keep training for strength, but in a way that supports my flexibility goals. This is going to be the first part of a 3-part video where I will be breaking down all the different factors that you need to keep working on your strength at the gym if one of your goals is the front split, because a lot of the gym exercises that are very popular and very common can, yes, increase your muscle mass, but also reduce your range. So you want to be able to keep building that strength, but in a way that doesn't impair your progress in your front split if this is one of your goals. So today our focus is going to be just the hamstring. That's it. And the first thing that I will say is, by the end of those 3 parts, you will be able to hopefully pick some exercises and either break this into 3 workouts in your week, where you do your hamstring, your quads, and then your hip flexors in 3 different sessions, or you can take bits from each videos and then put them together and create your own workout. I won't be posting any other videos until 2 weeks, because I only post every 2 weeks, so please be patient with me. And also I will say, remember to warm up before executing any of this. And so this is where we're going to begin. For the warm up, the first thing that I start to do is I skip. So I'll take a skipping rope and I'll do some skipping for 1 minute just to warm up my whole body. Then I will do my leg swings, and then I will get straight into it. So the first exercise that I want to talk about is the split stance RDL. The way that I brought this into my training was inspired by, I think it's called Unity Gym, which is another YouTube channel that is amazing. I recommend you guys have a look. And I got one of their freebie, and in it they talk about the high kick and what to do to achieve your high kick. And I really liked what they did in it. There was activation of the quad before getting into the split stance RDL. The split stance RDL can be done in different variation. Split stance means you've got one foot that is supporting you for balance. Another version of the RDL you could be doing that is very similar is the single leg RDL. In that case, you're actually balancing on one leg as you hinge forward. Both exercises are the same. However, when you're single-legged, you have to focus a lot on your balance, which makes the focus go on other areas such as your core and your hip flexors. Whereas with the split stance RDL, you can really have a strong focus on your working leg because you have some support from your other leg for balance. But remember, the weight has to stay in your working leg. Here you want to make sure that when you hinge forward, you're hinging from the hips and that your lower back is straight and flat and that you're not rounding through the spine. Even there should be a little arch in your spine. So as soon as you feel that the motion of bending forward comes from the back and not from the hips, you need to stop. The motion comes from the hinging of the hips, and wherever that max is for you, stop at that max range. Now, when I had a look online, there are apparently some studies that have come out recently that say that if you want to use a weight for your for your split stance RDL, if you use the weight on the side of the working leg, so let's say your working leg is your left leg, you're going to hold the weight on the left side if you want it to get your hamstrings working more. Whereas if you hold the weight on your right side, apparently it kind of goes a little bit, gives more work to the glutes on the left side rather than the hamstring. I don't know whether this actually makes a huge difference, but what I would recommend is just give it a go. I think that when I tried it, I could tell that I felt my hamstrings more activated when I had the weight on the side of the working leg. But you know, just give it a go, see what works for you. The second exercise is one that I actually tried for the first time for this video because I already had a whole bunch of really cool exercises that I was doing for my hamstrings. But in the view of making this video, I thought I better go and double check, see if there's other things that I could introduce to you. Let's rewind. The next exercise is called the Smith machine good morning, which you don't have to do on a Smith machine, but I think that I would recommend doing it on a Smith machine if you're not experienced working with barbells. The way this exercise works is very similar to the RDL in a way. You're hinging from the hips and you're hinging forward, your whole body's hinging forward from that hip motion. However, in this variation that I tried, you have both feet on the floor and your hips are really leaning back as you're hinging forward. The good thing with the Smith machine is that it provides some safety. You don't have to focus so much on being able to carry that weight on your back. It still works your back muscles, but you can do it in a safe way and you don't have to load any weight at first. You can try it without any weight. You can try without a Smith machine at all. The idea there is you want to keep your back really straight, pretty much parallel to the ground, as you hinge through the hips and move your bottom back as much as you can, keeping your legs straight. I have to say that when I tried this, I was amazed. It's the first time I felt my hamstrings this activated. Like, it was amazing. I really, really recommend this. Exercise number 3, the Nordic Curl. Now, honestly, I've never liked the leg curl at the gym. I don't know if, well, you guys probably have tried it. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. You probably should still be incorporating some like main hamstring strengthening exercise. But that Nordic curl, it just made me into hamstrings, like hamstring strengthening again. It's really awkward to set up if you don't have a proper machine. I don't know if you can call it a machine. As in, you need something to hold your ankles, because the whole exercise is you're kneeling on the floor, something's holding your ankles, and you're bending forward. You're not actually bending, you're like leaning with your whole body straight forward. Now, if you try that for the first time and you ask a friend to hold your legs and try to go as far to the ground, as close to the ground as possible, while preserving your body, your trunk, totally straight, you will see that this is no fucking joke. It is a hard exercise to do. And I think that's why I like it. I feel like it feels like I'm working my hamstrings, but at the same time, I'm learning a cool Michael Jackson kind of trick. There are a few variations that you can do to progress towards this final Nordic curl. What I have been doing so far is, first I've been using blocks under my knees because it really hurts to have my knees straight on the floor, and I use those really soft kind of squashy blocks. Then I've been using the barbell on the barbell stand thing with a little squishy thing around the barbell to lock my feet under. And then what I've been doing is I actually go as far as I can using my hamstrings as brake, and then just let myself fall, push myself back up, and then repeat. This is a negative version. So I can't at the moment go down and back up. So I'm going down, and one day in the hope that my body will get stronger and stronger and that I will be able to go back up. Now you can do it with more assistance. So for example, you could put a band attached behind you to hold your bust so that it's not, there's less weight, you know, you have some support as you lean forward, which might enable you to come back up. I actually really like this variation, apart from the fear that the machine that I'd hooked the band on was going to fall on my back. Then you can use a Swiss ball as well, so you're rolling yourself forward and then back up. I thought that was really good because it felt a little bit like a core exercise as well, but probably not working the hamstrings as much because it felt like I had a lot of support leaning on. So my hamstrings didn't feel as activated, I have to say, with the Swiss ball. Some people I've also seen put a box in front of them so that they actually just go as far as they can, which means not the ground, just the box, and then come back up. But yeah, I'll put snippets of those and just try, have a go, look them up and see which one works best for you. Now, the next exercise is the back extension. The back extension is a really great way to not only work your hamstring but also your glutes. The only thing with the back extension is if you have a bulge disc or if you have weakness in your back, in your spine, it's not going to be ideal. I wouldn't recommend going straight for that one. You need to be able to hinge on the back extension without any pain or risk for your lower spine. Now, it is a great exercise for your back, but you'll have to gradually work your way if you have back issues, like static holds first, and so it might not be the best one if you want to target your hamstrings and you have back issues. This being said, it is amazing if your back is sweet. You lean over the back extension machine. I like to have it quite low beneath my hips so that I can have a real deep hinge from my hips. And the pulling up action is where it really matters. So you're not lifting through the back here. You're really engaging the hamstrings, engaging the glutes, and lifting through the glutes. Honestly, I love the back extension. I almost get a little high from it, especially if I add some weight. So this is another alternative. You can grab a weight. It's really good for your back. It's really good for your glutes. It's really, really good for your hamstrings. Like, great. We love back extension. Our next exercise is the Jefferson Curl. Jefferson Curl is amazing to target the hamstrings. It is a little bit like what we do on the back extension, with mixed in with the good morning. It's kind of like they had a baby. So you're pretty much just standing. You can hold a weight or do it with no weight. And you want to roll your chin in and then roll your spine and roll all the way down and keep rolling until you get to the hips, and then you're hinging the hips forward and you're allowing the weight to pull your body down. So if you have very good hamstring flexibility already, you might want to stand on a box so that when the weight pulls you down, you have a bit more reach. The good thing about this exercise is that, well, first, it's a great way to stretch your hamstring because you've got this extra weight that pulls you down. So it really will get you just that extra push in your flexibility, or pull, should I say. But also it works the flexibility of the back, which I love. If you have been doing a back day or you feel a little bit kind of stiff in the spine or compressed in the spine, oh my God, the Jefferson Curl is just going to go lengthening that lower back and feels amazing. So highly, highly recommend this one. And last but not least, I actually don't know what that one is called, but I will call it the hamstring on the assisted pull-up machine. So this one, I don't know if you've seen in the gym, sometimes, well, they have those machines for assisted pull-ups, so it's the reverse of what usual machines do. The more weight you put, the easier it is, because the more weight you put, the more the seat will go up, because it's heavy, the weight will pull the seat up, and so it's to help people get their first pull-up. Now, you can use it by putting your foot on it and press it down to work your hamstrings. But you're probably also working your quads a little bit. You're working your whole leg. But what I like about it is that it's almost acting a little bit as a PNF method. So PNF is a flexibility method that requires you to really contract your muscles in order to bypass your nervous system's automatic kind of response to want to protect you, and so prevent you from going too far into your flexibility. So in order to bypass this mechanism that the body does or whatever, you just contract, and then release, and contract, and then release. So with this machine, when you're pressing your foot into the seat, and you want to make sure that you got your full range here. So sometimes I'm like piling up blocks onto the machine to get my foot pretty much into a full split. Well, I can't do the full split, but as high as I can. And then from that end range, I press into the machine to lower my foot down. And yeah, it's kind of like, it's like working the strength of your leg, but at a full, at your full range. So yeah, really great exercise. And I also find it kind of fun. I always feel a little bit like a ninja when I'm doing it. So yeah, you should just give it a go. Have a play, have a try. And this is it. These are all my recommendations for your hamstrings. Now, I will say that usually if I'm working on a hamstring day like that, I will also incorporate my hip thrust. But hip thrust could be either in the hamstring category or in the hip flexor category. So I think I'm going to keep it for the hip flexor category, but it definitely works your hamstrings as well. Okay, cool. Well, that's me for today, guys. I hope that those exercises are useful. I just want to say, if you're on your journey to the front split, like I have, and you're only doing yoga, because some of those yoga chicks, they just make it look like you're just going to practice yoga and suddenly you're going to get your front split. This might work for some people, but it will not work for everyone. And I feel like I'm one of those where my body doesn't feel safe unless it's able to work with strength. And so strength training has helped me and helped my nervous system learn that it is safe to go into those end ranges in a way that feels supported. So there, I'll see you in 2 weeks.